Kasawala, Inshiknikwa, and Josh, Khazkhazab. My name's Michael Alexander. Some call me Sparky. That's what Khazkhazab means. It's Sparky. It came from my grandfather, George Alexander. We called him Pops. But that's where my name comes from. And that's why I'm Sparky, or Khazkhazab. And that's why I always start with that. So today I just wanted to share a story, but first I wanted to smudge. You know, I'm the culture coordinator at Clean Kit band office, and once a week I bring in my fan and my smudge bowl so everybody can smudge and, you know, cleanse themselves, get brushed down and whatnot. It's a hard time in the pandemic, you know, and it helps the staff feel better. So usually once a week I started bringing in the smudge bowl, but last week it was brought up. Well, it wasn't brought up. I figured I should be bringing my fan in for people to get brushed down. I was just bringing in the smudge bowl so they can smudge themselves. But watching them, I heard the creator tell me, you know, bring your fan so that people can get brushed down. So I just wanted to go over a bit about smudging. It's here's some sage that I got from Thomas. So, you know that stuff I couldn't grind in another video? This is it. And you just roll it in your hand and it goes into the bowl. When sage is a bit better, I'm gonna go out and get sage from our territory here, Stadium. So that one's sage. Cedar, I put the sage down, and you put cedar on top of it. And you go from the edge here in. That's what I was taught. And my elder, he'd watch me and he laughed at me. Hey, you know, you always do it backwards. I was like, stopped, like, what? Backwards? He says, yeah, you're supposed to go from the outside in, but you go from the inside out. I was like, oh, alright, I didn't know. So since then I've been doing it the way he taught me, the way he said. Oh, juniper. This is juniper. Poon slip, we call it. Chadawaz. No. Kauku. Chadawaz. And then poon slip. So, depending on who you talk to or where you are, you know, some people only use juniper during funerals and whatnot. But ever since I started, we've always used juniper. and it's just become so common to me that I use it all the time. All the time. It's like our mix, our thing. So here's what it looks like, and here I'll zoom. So I know a lot of people just drop it in their smudge bowl and whatnot, right? That's fine. It's not wrong. See what I do? I have a line straight across. And I light it. I light it on one side and it just burns down the other side. And when I'm doing my work, when that runs out, I just push it all to the back, refill it, and then it just burns its way back this way. And then, and that's roughly, depends on how much I put in there, but you get an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours out of it, and so and recording, smudging, or it's considered a ceremony, so you're not supposed to be recording this kind of stuff. It's sacred, but this is an educational purpose, so we're teaching people. And if I get in trouble for this, yeah, but not everybody knows how to smudge, right? Like, get the general idea. But I just wanted to share it, in Clackmanskassa, our way of life. Another thing I was taught was your match. You don't, not to put it out, right? You just let it burn out by itself. Like I used to start my smudge, and I used to just put it out. But one of my teachers said, no, don't do that. You just leave it right there, right? So that's what I started doing. I was just letting it burn, move it around till everything gets lit there, and sometimes I burn my tip of my fingers and whatever, that's fine. So clean cut, smudge day, brush down day. I used to be the Red Cross coordinator, but that ended in December, and we still had a bit of funding, so my job continues. Now I'm the culture coordinator, and now I'm doing more stuff, more traditional stuff. Same medicine stories that I was doing before. It's all in one thing now. I'm not 2 things, 3 things, whatever, right? So, staff have issues, things that go on the weekends, and I bring in my smudge bowl so they can smudge. And yeah, that's what this is. I got asked too, like, oh, can you bring your smudge in? It's like, yes, I'll bring it in tomorrow, or I'll bring it in after lunch. And they're like, okay, okay. And then they tell me like, oh, I had a hard weekend, or I had, you know, these things are on my mind and I need to smudge. It's like, right on, you know, it's I'm the culture coordinator, so that gives me, you know, put some on my schedule. Okay, bring smudge bowl to work so that the staff can smudge, can brush down and whatnot. And they can continue on in a good way, right? And that's what we want for everybody. So here's how I smudge, alright? It's not wrong. I mean, if you do it different, that's good. It's not wrong. So I always taught, you know, you always take off your jewelry, smudge it, put it down. You know, you gotta empty your pockets, right? Lens for my camera. My phone is over there on my desk, so it's alright. I was carrying my knife, but we'll get that off me. Glasses, smudge them. That's one thing some people don't do, is they'll just take the glass off and put it down. It's, you know, you smudge it first. It's like, you know, it's like when it's taking off something dirty and putting it down, and you wash up and you're putting something dirty back on. So that's how I look at it. So I always get people to smudge their glasses, like, here, smudge your glasses, and you know, smudge your glasses and put it down. I'm like, you're cleaning yourself, then you're putting something dirty back on. I'm like, oh right, yeah, never thought of it like that before. And okay, so yeah, smudge glasses, smudge everything, because you don't want to be putting something dirty back on, right? So yeah, you know, smudge your heart so you feel good about yourself, feel good about others. Smudge your mind, your head, you know, think good thoughts, do things in a good way. In your hair, it's your connection to Mother Earth. Yeah, my eyes, so I see the good, you know. My ears, so I hear the good, listen to the good, listen to those that speak to me in a good way. My mouth, so I speak good. And then, you know, the rest of your body, smudge your body, your back, your arms, chest, legs. And some people will smudge the bottom of their feet, because that's their connection to Mother Earth too, right? You know, you're walking where you walk, so they smudge their feet. It's something they do. It's I don't do it myself, but some people do. And like I said, you know, people got their own way of doing things. Yeah. So that's basic idea of smudging. And you know, talking to it too. So when you have problems, it would be just praying to it, you know. Sit. You know, I pray for my parents, give them strength. Pray for my elders. You know, they're my teachers to help me. Pray for my brothers and sisters. They support me in what I do, to help me when they can. You know, just things that you want to pray for. This is, you pray to your smudge bowl, and it goes up in the smoke. And smudge daily, just like everything else, you know. It's a spiritual thing, spiritual stuff, spirituality, and you got lots of things to pray for. Once you start getting into the habit of it, you start realizing, oh, I can pray for this, I can pray for that, and you know, be thankful too. You can, if you don't have something to pray for, like you can't think of anything, you just say thank you. You know, thank you for waking up. Thank you. Thank you, it's warm out, or thank you, it's raining. Thank you. You know, be thankful, and after a while, you'll just feel all this stuff inside of you. Be like, wow, it's enlightening. Chikioch. That's how the word we use, the word I was taught. But okay, so that's, you know, a little bit on smudging, helping yourself, and praying. So I wanted to share a story too. I like sharing stories. I'm not a storyteller. I know that, but I know stories and I like sharing them. And my daughter, yeah, Kaya, I tell her the stories, and Trace, I tell Trace the stories, and you know, whoever or whatever, if I think of a story, and I'll be like, hey. But right now, the past couple of days, I've been thinking about my friend, you know, my teacher, my elder, my brother. He passed away last week, and it's really hard on me. It is. I'm struggling a lot. But somebody told me this story, chipmunk and coyote. You know, some people would say chipmunk and, or no, chickadee and coyote, but I heard it chipmunk and coyote. I'll share it with you guys. But so there's Coyote walking along, you know, minding his business, being mischievous and whatever, you know, doing what Coyote does. And there's Chipmunk there, and he's got a bow, his bow and arrow, and he's practicing, you know, he's shooting at things. Yeah. And getting, you know, just practicing, doing his thing. And here comes Coyote. Coyote sees him in his little bow, right? Little bow and arrow. And he laughs at him. Ha! Look at your little bow. What can you hunt with that? It's so small. Couldn't catch anything. And Chipmunk's like, oh yeah? Well, I'll tell you what, Coyote. You go up on the hill over there, and you'll see, I'll show you how little my bow is. Coyote's like, ha, alright, let's do this then. So he goes up the hillside, and he forgets what he's doing. And he starts messing around, you know, playing. Coyote's forgetful and everything. But, so he's messing around and forgets Chipmunk's gonna shoot him with his little bow. And then Chipmunk watching him up on the hillside playing, messing around. He draws his arrow. He's taking his deep breaths. He has Coyote in his sights. He's thinking, praying, you know. Utmichkugogo. and wish. You know, give me strength inside. Just need one good shot. Show Coyote my bow's not little. You know, teach him a lesson for making fun of me. And he gets him. He gets Coyote in the side. Like, oh! He turns and sees Chipmunk down there, and he's like, oh, hey, why are you shooting at me? What'd you do that for? Yeah, Chipmunk, you know. See, I told you my bow's not little. You laugh at my bow like that. And Coyote, you know, got him real good. And he falls down and dies on the spot in the hillside, right? And then, you know, so it's summer, you know, summertime, and then, you know, it's fall time. Coyote's laying there dead. You got shot by Chipmunk, right? And it's winter time. And it's springtime, right? It's spring out there. And Fox comes. Fox sees him, goes up on the hillside, and oh, Coyote. What? You know, he knows Coyote. Everybody knows Coyote. Get himself in trouble. You know, does stupid things all the time. Goes, ah, Coyote. What kind of trouble you get yourself into this time? And Fox, he's got magical powers, right? He jumps over him 4 times and bring him back to life. Because Coyote, you know, he plays it like he was sleeping. He opens his eyes and sees Fox. Oh, and then he just stretches like, oh, ah. Oh, I must have fell asleep, had a long nap. You know, Fox shake his head at him. You know, you can smell him. He's been sitting there for a couple seasons and he was going rancid, you know, rotting. And Fox just shook his head, went the other way. And Coyote, you know, went back to being Coyote. And that's it, that's the story. But you know, that's the way my elder told me, and that's the way I'm gonna be telling that story from now on. And he told me 2 other stories. You know, one was that the creation story, and I shared that briefly in one of my other videos. But in time we'll share another story. And yeah, so I gotta go and, you know, brush down people, let them smudge, let them get their weekend out. And yeah, so, oh, and another thing, I was asked about stories, you know, did people want to hear stories? And yeah, you know, I do. If I have to, I can do Zoom. I'd rather do them in person, you know, like, I'd rather do it in person. But if I have to do Zoom, I guess I can do Zoom, do a story. I know a couple stories, and I need to practice some, but I do know some. So share these videos, share these stories, you know. They're Statlium legends, they're Statlium, and, you know, practice the oral tradition, you know, tell it to someone else. You know, I heard this, and just keep it going. And yeah, Takamishkanukwa.